Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thanks for your patience this morning. We've been working hard to get Sunday service ready for you, and nothing can stop us. So we want to welcome you to the National Family Service. And I hope that this morning you're really excited to hear what God has prepared for you this morning. Please open your hearts. Please laugh along with us, clap along with us, dance if you feel like it. And let's kick it off with our opening song. For our opening song today, let's head over to New Jersey and welcome Richard and Mari Curry and their beautiful family singing Shining Fatherland. Let's sing along with them.
Hello! Today we will be singing Shining Fatherland. Sunlight beaming forth in the east from the fatherland, bringing tidings of a new world to families in the field. Let us hasten to send the news all throughout the world. Each star is ready for us of joy and peace. Oh, golden dawn throughout the shining fatherland tells the tidings of the rising sun that brings us light. Harvest weary men of the field, listen to harvest now. Watch them ripen and ready to bring into the heavenly farm. Saints and angels and heavenly hosts gather to speed the tale. All will share the harvest of joy and good of our Lord. Golden dawn throughout the shining fatherland tells the tidings of the rising sun that brings us light. When the wars and 1,000 years have come, the Father's heart, sons and daughters shall live with great joy, all to truth and song. Saints and sages and men after faith, all waiting for this day. Loyal men and hoping for David the young to see this day. Oh, golden dawn throughout the shining fatherland tells the tidings of the rising sun that brings us light. Oh, golden dawn throughout the shining fatherland tells the tidings of the rising sun that brings us light. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. We love you.
Thank you for that great song, Curry family. Now I'd like to invite Mrs. Yana Johnson, the National Director of the Blessing and Family Ministry from Bloomfield, New Jersey, for our opening prayer.
Please join me in prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful that this Sunday morning we can gather together as a family. We can gather to receive your words through the Sunday message. And I pray, Heavenly Parent, that each and every one of us can truly open our hearts to receive the message you want to speak to each of us, and that we can receive your words gratefully, that we can receive and be able to respond, because more than ever, it's so important that each of us embodies the incredible example from our true parents, the incredible words of true love, that we can truly rise up as your sons and daughters and live and embody true love in our own lives. So we're grateful for this time that we can gather and receive inspiration together as a family and to really move forward together in love and in gratitude to you and our incredible true parents and leadership of our incredible true mother. Thank you so much. I pray and report all this on behalf of everyone in the name of Yanni Johansson of a Blessed Central Family. Aju.
Good morning and welcome to the National Family Service. Our international community was founded by Father and Mother Moon, whom we call our true parents. True parents have taken up the mission bestowed upon them by Jesus Christ to help us all reconnect and fortify our relationship with God through a deeper understanding called the Divine Principle and by receiving the Holy Marriage Blessing. To learn more about our community, just type #Connect on the Facebook chat or sign the guest book on nationalfamilyservice.org. On our website, you'll find all the links you'll need for tithing, community, meetups, kid resources, and more. We'd love to hear your ideas and feedback at any time. Just hit the send a message button on our Facebook page to chat with one of our online ushers. Thanks for joining us today. We can't wait to get connected with you.
Now I'd like to invite you to enjoy some Godable this morning, featuring an excerpt from the Chunseung Gyeong, which is a compilation of Father and Mother Moon's words.
Your mind is your watchman. It protects you night and day. It tells you over and over again, do good deeds, without letting you rest. Have you ever imagined how exhausted your mind is? From the day you begin to think for yourself, from the day you acquire the intellectual capacity to analyze situations in society, your conscience has always been following you around and telling you what to do. It will keep doing so until you die. It tells you take after God, the saints, patriots, and children who practice filial piety. It commands you to resemble them all. It keeps telling your body, my body, you need to resemble me. We never knew we had such a wonderful teacher within us. The original mind within you has the aspect of a great mother and father. The teachings of such mothers and fathers never contradict this mind. You should learn to obey whenever this mind counsels you, just as you would your mother or father. Thus far, the formula that could serve as the origin of a moral order and bring our whole environment into accord with that order has not appeared. Therefore, your original mind must serve as your teacher, as your parent, and as God. No teacher can teach that mind. The original mind guides you better than God does. It existed even before you did. As a guide, this mind or conscience is better than your parents, better than your king, better even than God. It is that precious. When you are about to do something wrong, it does not say, hurry up and do it. No, if you are about to do something perverse, it says, don't do it, you rascal. Therefore, you absolutely need to listen to your conscience. Once you make it a habit, you and your conscience will be in constant dialogue.
It was a good Godable this morning, talking about, our original mind and this amazing teacher that we have within us, and how important it is to take the time to give and take with that and let it lead us in the right direction, even with other things that are going around us and other voices that are out there. So yeah, what a timely message. Glad that we could have that Godable this morning. I was watching some of the comments while you were waiting about the different breakfast foods you're having and the homemade breads being baked. I can smell it from over here. It smells delicious. I'm excited to be able to share it with you over Zoom. It's amazing that we can connect with each other every week. Weeks can feel long or short, but it's such a blessing that we get to come together each Sunday and feel connected as one international family. At the same time, we want to keep supporting our local communities who have been through a lot in this time of COVID. And we want to invite you to make your personal tithe and offering this morning to support the amazing local communities. So you can type #tithe, or you can go to nationalfamilyservice.org and find all the information you need to be able to make your tithe this morning. And while you're doing that, I hope you enjoy our offertory song. For our offertory song today, let's head over to Crofton, Maryland, and enjoy the song Someday Soon, performed by David Moffett and Sarah Jones.
The lovely Sarah Jones and Dave Moffett performing for you Wilder Woods' Someday Soon. There is a shadow in the hallway trying to frighten you. Don't let the darkness surround you. You can make it through. Don't you give up on the kingdom. Think it's crashing in. No, it ain't worth all the worry. They'll still let you in. Someday soon these worries roll on. Someday soon enough. Sometimes the weight of decisions will try to bury you. Don't let the shame tell you something that you know ain't true. Just 'cause you feel like a stranger, that don't mean you are. God, I could use a reminder of what forgiveness is for. Someday soon these worries roll on. Someday soon enough.
Sometimes the cold wind blows, sometimes the wolves rush in. Don't think the battle's over just 'cause you say amen.
Someday soon these worries roll on. Someday soon enough. Someday soon these worries roll on. Someday soon enough. Sometimes the cold wind blows, sometimes the wolves rush in. Don't think the battle's over just 'cause you said amen. Sometimes the cold wind blows, sometimes the wolves rush in. Don't think the battle's over just 'cause you say amen. Thank you.
Thank you, David and Sarah. You know, it's a beautiful song. Battle's not over just because you say amen, but still saying amen through it. Really beautiful message. At this time, I want to be able to welcome, our amazing leaders who I don't think we all realize, but they're working incredibly hard, praying and leading and interacting in so many different circles all the time. And I want to be able to welcome them this morning with my heart fully open, excited to greet them. Let's welcome Dr. Ki-Hoon Kim, the International Vice President of Family Federation, and our President of Family Federation here in the U.S., Reverend Damian Dunkley. Good morning to both of you. We're happy to see you this morning. Damian, your tie looks great. Dr. Kim, your tie looks good too.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning.
Morning, Dr. Kim.
Morning. How are you this morning?
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm happy it's Sunday. It's good to see you.
Oh, you become very professional. That internet podcast or that television professional cast.
A new job, right? Yeah. Yeah.
You
Dr.
know how you are great. Good moderating. Last 21 days. So everybody, how great we have. Level and Damian Dunkley preparing this all episode and leading 21 days. So today is the last day.
Final day. Final day. Last day. Thank you, Dr. Kim. You've been a great support and a spiritual leader. I hope everybody understands Dr. Kim is also fully on the team, and we're thinking as you know, Dr. Kim, only ever 3 or 4 days ahead, right? At most.
Mhm.
Checking the content, checking the title. We have 100 topics. How can we choose 21?
Mhm.
So that's why so many people have been asking for, another series.
Yes.
But we need to do some other work in between. And I just want to say thank you, Dr. Kim. I heard that Mother was also inspired.
Yes. As you share, many times these days, I share this all our American activities every other days, and especially this 21 days docu series of True Parents Life. And after True Mother heard, and also True Mother's staff, Wanda McDavid and Dr. Yoon and all her staffs, they are very amazed how American Family Church having this kind of testimonial and video clips, many pictures, and then moving all our family members, including ACS pastors, even around the world. And True Mother heard about this whole kind of beautiful stories, and then True Mother sent beautiful pictures and flowers from Cheonjeong-gun.
Yes. So we have everybody. Dr. Kim's referring to something that if we're going to share with you on the final show tonight. It's a gift from True Mother, never before seen. She prepared something especially for us after hearing Dr. Kim's reports. And anyway, thank you, Dr. Kim, and a big shout out to our incredible team. Our team is
Yes.
amazing.
Also, I very impressed about the yesterday, that this series episode and Dr. Rouse, Bishop Lewis,
Yes.
and our dear Archbishop Stallings and Curtis. And, I really repented myself. They are more excited knowing true parents. And then I know you spend the extra time with them. Their excitement, we cannot stop them. Oh, we got the resources, we got the answer from True Mother and True Parent. This is our resources. We can resolve all kind of our social unrest and people's life once again alignment with heavenly parents and true parents and true mother. So I never seen our this friend and pastor's excitement sharing without they thinking about time already.
Dr. Kim, we tried. Kaylee and I were trying to prepare some basic outline or structure for the interview with Curtis Farrow and George Stallings, but just a minutes before, I'm like, no, we decided, no, it's not necessary. Let's just enjoy the conversation, because I agree with you. It felt like even we went long, but they want to share more. You know, they want to share that excitement. So we're really blessed, I think, Dr. Kim. Especially sometimes it's hard for us internally recognize our value, especially now in response to everything that's going on. You know, many people are questioning: do we have the answer? Do we have? Do our true parents really the answer? Can God solve this? Can true parents solve this? You know, there's this expression, you can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. And I really hope, you know, it's okay. However, our members and everybody around, however you're feeling, it's okay. It's a process and it takes time. But I'm really moved, you know, because we have people on every side of this spectrum feeling so many different things. But I'm so moved by our allies, our brothers and sisters who joining our cause, saying, wow, thank you so much. Thank true parents, thank true mother and true father so much for leading the way. And I think this is a really, like Mother said on May 8th, this is a time when we as a movement, we can really reflect, not just as a movement, that means as individuals, as families, as communities, to reflect and make sure that we are growing now and that we can be a voice of parental love that can embrace. And when we hear them saying thank you, right, already saying thank you, then it means, yeah, we really have to recognize God's beauty, true parents' beauty, and what true parents have built is incredible.
Yes. Sometimes, you know, we don't recognize ourselves for how we all precious brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So this is the reason a true mother and true father and true parents already trying to guide us, guardianism, as you mentioned, parentalism. This is not just one side of a brother, one side of sisters. This is absolute value. Guardianism means absolute value. Parentism in the family, this is absolute God-centered value. So we are not just side of this, side of that. So we are under center God core value, guardianism and parentism, and practicing living for the sake of others. This is the teaching. So we are really appreciate the true parent, life course and true parent practicing all of these things. We are excited, and people there also very so excited. Our that HLC pastors and all of them. So this is really great program we created for the sake of heavenly parents, true parents, and all brothers and sisters. So thank you, Reverend Dunkley, your wonderful leaderships, and let us continue with this spirit.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. You know, you built an incredible team, Dr. Kim, and many people, when you don't see what's going on internally, you can have your own imagination. But I do really want to testify to our headquarters team, our sub-regional directors, district pastors, and all those who are now in the field, in the communities, in the families, also facilitating, you know, young and old, intergenerational discussion. You know, how are we doing internally, you know, with regard to race? How are we doing with our own relationships? Because actually, it's not true parents' responsibility. And especially in America, we have this unique problem because we have also this unique responsibility to be able to be a voice for the world, to be able to be a voice for all people, all culture, all races and religions. Means I have to first digest those things and love those things. And, you know, that means listen first. And so we have many of these community gatherings right now where brothers and sisters are having this conversation. I want to remind our brothers and sisters, you know, as we have first responders, we showed many photographs, right, Dr. Kim, of our nurses and doctors, first responders for COVID. And we have also first responders in regards to this social unrest. We have people really passionately embracing the cause, but we also have, you know, members of our own second generation in the police force, and it's a very intense time for them. And so I know your heart goes out to them, and grateful for their service in this time. We have to be able to represent family and find a way. And yes, we can listen. And finally, we have to act as one. It's a process. Anyway, thank you. I'm grateful for your calm and steady leadership through this time for America, Dr. Kim. Thank you. Yeah.
God bless you.
So, Dr. Kim, 49 years ago today, God prepared a special message for this Sunday. 49 years ago today, God gave birth to one young boy, one baby boy. And so today, on his birthday, we'd like to welcome, you know, Dr. Kim and I discussed last week, who do we really want to hear from this Sunday? And already we're thinking about even next Sunday. But I feel, you know, this Sunday, God chose one very special brother. We'd like to welcome to the stage Dr. Achille Akoladze, who is from the Washington, D.C. Family Church. Pastor, thank you so much and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. Thank you, Damian.
Thank you for joining us here. And we welcome you, and we're excited to hear what God has put on your heart to share with our family members across the world today.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, it's a beautiful day out there today, and I'm very grateful to Heavenly Parent to really allow us to experience this beautiful day. I also very grateful to True Parent, you know, who have always been able to bring us together and to experience God's love. So I'm very grateful. Like Damien, Reverend Dunkley said, today is my birthday. I don't know whether it's a coincidence or not, but I'm very grateful to share a message with you today. Actually, I'm preparing to have a barbecue right after this service. I've been waiting to have this barbecue now for almost 2 months. And every time I ask my wife, you know, let's have a barbecue. It's beautiful out there. She said, no, wait. You're gonna have a barbecue on your birthday. I said, okay. I was waiting, and you know, sometimes I said, oh man, it's beautiful today. I really need to have this really barbecue today. But then, you know, all the kids will align with their mother, will say, no, you have to wait until your birthday, which is today. So, you know, what can I say? I have to listen. You know, 6 against me. I have 5 kids, by the way. I was blessed with my beautiful wife, Katsumi, back in 1992. And we have 5 children, Sarah, Michael, Anna, Rebecca, and Ion. And over the year, I've learned to listen to my wife. And many times I take her for granted. You know, I'm not paying too much attention to what she asks me to do or she tells me, because I'll say, oh, I'll do it. Many times she'll ask me, on your way back, pick up something or do this, and I'll forget and get back. I'll say, I'm sorry, and keep repeating. And what I noticed after a while is that it's hurting her. You know, it's hurting her without me even noticing. That, you know, not listening to her, taking her for granted, and not really paying attention to what she really would like me to do for her is hurting her. It just reminds me, again, a promise I made to her when we were blessed. I remember during our blessing in Korea, when we were preparing for the blessing, she told me this word that still until today resonates in my heart. My wife has a very difficult childhood, and when she was 2 years old, the mother left. You know, the mother left, And when she was very young, around 40 years old, the father also passed away. So she was raised in orphanage until she joined the church around 18 years old. So when we met, she told me that she has nobody in her life. She has only God, true parent, and me. So please, don't leave me. So those words, when I realize sometimes when she's hurting because I'm not listening to her, those words will come and really I repent a lot, and over the year I've learned this, and now I really pay attention. I still have to do more, but I'm paying more attention. I realize that when I listen to her, and when I do what she asked me to do, she's happy. I realize that the atmosphere in the room, in the home, is much better. You have joy, happiness when she feels understood, when she feels that I listen to her. So that's why my message today, I entitled "Let Us Listen." Let us listen. On May 8th, when True Mother spoke to us, she says this. She said, during this pandemic season, that I hope that you strive to reflect, to repent, and resolve to fulfill your responsibilities. Will you do that? So I listened to this message many times, and every time when I hear this, it really touched me so much. So what we do here in my family is my wife and I, the kids, we decide to have a family meeting a couple times a week, and where we discuss, like some others ask, it's a time to really come together as a family and discuss, get to really hear one another. And we share, about God's word, what books everybody's reading, and it's a very exciting time, It helping us to really have 5 kids or 7 of us when we get together to share like this. It help us to bring us together. We get to know each other. I discovered things that I really didn't know about my kid before. For instance, a couple of days ago, I had, during our meeting, I had this little bit agitated conversation with my daughter, the first one, Sarah. And, she's looking at something from one perspective. I'm looking at it from another perspective. And we cannot connect, right? And at some point, she gets really kind of angry, right? And she said, "You first generation, you never listen to us. You never understand us." Right? And I say, "Oh, wow." So then after we closed the meeting, I went to pray as usual before going to sleep. And in the morning when I woke up, I felt like, well, I needed to talk to her. So I went to her room and I knocked the door and went to the room and I said, "You have a minute?" Yeah. And then first of all, I apologized to her. I told her I apologize that last night the conversation was not really that good. And I apologize. In fact, that really I don't really listen. I haven't really paid attention. I don't really listen to you. But I promise you that I'll make more effort to understand where you're coming from, to understand your perspective. So I'm very sorry. I really sincerely apologize. And when I noticed, the atmosphere was completely different. She was calm. And she was listening, and I felt like her heart was, when she felt understood. She felt, oh, my dad finally understood how I'm feeling. That he doesn't listen to me, or and so on. Then I was able to express or to explain to her, why the first generation sometimes have to, feel or do certain things because of where they come from, the sacrifice and so on. So she received it, right? She received it. So when I the lesson from that is that when we take time to actually listen to one another, when we take time to seek to understand one another, then the circumstance will be such that we can really connect. So that's my great advice. And I believe this is the same thing in our relationship with God. So many times, God speaks to us, but we don't listen. It hurts God. It hurts God. That's what happened in the Garden of Eden. God spoke to Adam and Eve. And they listened, of course, but obviously they did not listen. So what I'm trying to say here is there is a way to listen to listen. So I want to share with you this passage from True Mother's memoir, Mother of Peace, that really touched me so much, where True Mother saying, because I knew God's sorrowful grief, a courage based on my faith in God rose up within me. I felt I could gratefully accept whatever might be asked of me. Then I heard God's voice again. I felt the same presence that I felt in the upper room in the inside the womb church when Grandmother Hugh anointed me, and when the monk passing by our house has prophesied about me. But in that presence, I heard the word, Mother of the universe, the time has come. It was like the sound of a gun, reverberated in the air. The voice spoke again. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I have been waiting for the Mother of the universe since the creation of the world. When I heard these words, I knew what my future was to be, and it settled in my heart and created an ocean of calm. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve talked with God directly and heard God's word with their own ears. I had had such direct conversation with God from a young age. So on page 91, she said, just as Isaac obediently lay upon the altar, I knew that God had prepared me as the heavenly bride, and that this was God's predestined harvest. I had no question or doubt in my heart. I had only the desire to keep going on the path. I accepted God's command in a state of complete selflessness. So brothers and sisters, what this passage from True Mother really resonates so much in my heart. It tells us that God speaks to us directly. And when God speaks to us directly, the attitude that we should have in order to actually listen is very important. That's what I felt in this passage of True Mother. First of all, she felt the sorrowful heart of God, such that when she received the message from God, she made a firm commitment. Why? Because she was able to connect with that sorrowful heart of God to the point where there is no way she cannot really accept that she was receiving directly from God. Right? So when God speaks to us many different ways. Well, one way is directly like that, like he spoke to Adam and Eve in the garden, like he spoke to True Mother. But then, why did Adam and Eve did not really listen? Because I believe they could not really connect with the deepest heart of God. The reason why True Mother was able to be successful is because she understood the heart of God. She understood what is going on in the heart of God, to the point where when she received the word, when she heard the voice of God, she made a firm commitment, right? So sometimes God speaks to us, brothers and sisters, also indirectly. And we have to be able to pay attention in order to listen. God can use other people to speak to us. Or God can use life events in order to speak to us. For instance, when there were wickedness during the time of Noah, God sent the flood judgment. This is a way of God of telling us something indirectly. Same thing like Sodom and Gomorrah. God was asking, even if I can find only 10 righteous people, because the wickedness was so prevalent that God had to send a message that, no, look, this is not the way to do. This is not the way to live. And Sodom and Gomorrah were put on fire. When I think also about, when Israelites were leaving Egypt to go to Canaan, God spoke to Moses and asked Moses to go and really free the Israelites from Pharaoh. But Pharaoh was not listening. And what happened was God sent 10 plagues. So this is another way of God using life events to send a message to us so that we can actually listen, right? So in order to be able to really receive the word of God, in order to be able to listen to the word of God, our attitude is very, very important. Right? That's what I learned, in that relationship with my daughter. So when I was able to actually go to her calmly and really show that I really understood. First of all, repent and apologize for what happened. And then I was able to really share with her that, look, I understood and I will continue to seek to understand. Then I noticed that her attitude was completely different. I noticed that we were able to have a very good conversation and that she was ready to actually listen. So I can feel the spirit, the love, in that during that meeting with her, right? So just like True Mother talked about Isaac and Abraham, right? So when Abraham received the voice of God, when he received the command from God, so he listened, even though it was difficult. So when he listened, what happened was because he understood the heart of God, just like True Mother, right? So the only son that Abraham has, he was ready to sacrifice him because he really can connect with the deepest heart of God. So because of that response of Abraham, because of the fact that Abraham actually listened, what happened was God was moved. God's heart was actually moved to the point where he intervened and said, no, don't touch Isaac. So my point here, brothers and sisters, what I'm trying to put across here is the importance of really listening, but also listening with a sense of really deep heart, a sense of love, a sense of, just like we hear from the God emojis earlier, when we go inward and we listen to the voice of our original mind, right? Then we can truly make the right decision when things are happening around us, right? So the listening that we're talking about here is the listening that seeks to understand, the listening that really reach out to the others. We say living for the sake of others. Reach out to try to understand why that person is acting this way or that way. Like in my case, why my daughter was so agitated by the fact that we could not have the same perspective. And to the point where she said that I don't listen and I can never listen, I don't understand. Well, but then when I go inward and I pray and I go back to her and really sincerely show my heart of repentance and also the heart of acceptance, that the fact that I really understood her, the atmosphere was completely different. Right. So my message today is very simple, brothers and sisters. The title is Let Us Listen. So let us listen with a heart that actually is sincere, a heart that really seek to understand, a heart that is really feel justice when there is injustice, a heart that have compassion, a heart that really have true love. So when we are able to tap in that kind of heart, when we are able to tap into that kind of spirit, then the circumstances around us will change. The response from one another will be different. Then we can have really sincere dialogue. We can have sincere communication, right? So I keep going back to this example with Madara because it taught me a lot in how do I really listen in my life, right? So also in my relationship with my wife, you know, I am paying much attention right now, because if I don't pay attention, what happened is she's hurt. And many times I don't even realize how much she's hurt, right? So I have to be then intentional in my listening. I have to really, like I say, really seek to understand, even though I may not really see the same perspective like with my daughter, but I have to try to make this effort to try to understand from what perspective, why is she think it's like this? So, and once she feels that I make that effort, then our relationship became really, the circumstances are now that all the hearts are open and we can have really true dialogue. We can really love one another. We can really feel true excitement, you know, toward one another, right? So my point here today is, you know, of course, there's many things going on in our country these days. I wanted to also share with you this this message from our great American Martin Luther King Jr., who was talking about agape. Agape is a Greek word for love. Not any kind of love, but what it's like almost like what we talk when we mention true love, right? So that's what he said. You see, agape is something of the understanding. That's why I highlight the word understanding. Yeah, it's very, very important. Creative, redemptive goodwill. So it's a love that can bring redemption when it's really put the proper way. For goodwill for all men. It is a love that seeks nothing in return. It is an overflowing love. It is what theologians will call the love of God, working in the lives of men. And when you rise to love on this level, you begin to love men not because they are likable, but because God loves them, right? So this is so deep that when we really start to listening, and when we listen with this kind of heart, agape, the heart that seeks to understand, the heart that really, you know, look at the other person from God's viewpoint. That person, no matter who he may be, still is God's son or daughter. God still loves that person, to the point where I can still love that person because I love God. So that's why the relationship, our personal relationship with God, is so much important. If we can really develop this heart, we are understanding the heart of God. We understand it by hurting my brother or my sister. I'm actually hurting God. Then if I love God, if I have this deep relationship with God, then I cannot do that, right? So the same way, Nelson Mandela, whom also I love and respect so much, say this: no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can also be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite, right? So when, like agape that Martin Luther King is talking about has a redemptive power. When we love, when we express love, we can actually naturally we can resolve issues. When this love is sincere, again, when this love is a love that seeks to understand, when this love is a love that really, when there is injustice, actually must feel justice for those who are still feeling injustice, right? So when this love is expressed in that way, naturally we can bring harmony, we can bring true love, and ultimately, of course, when we study the word of Jesus Christ in the Bible, he clearly said, you have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be the children of God, the children of your Father in heaven. That's the kind of heart we are after, brothers and sisters. The heart that really, really go beyond, even when we've been persecuted, but still seek to reach out, still seek to forgive, seek to love. And the heart also that seek to understand others, seek to see where they are coming from, why they are doing what they are doing, why they are really expressing what they are expressing. When we can have this kind of heart toward one another, when we can really have this kind of relationship rooted in the love of God, the love that transcends, what we can see here, then we will be able to resolve our issues, right? So the last word that I wanted to share with you also regarding this is this poem from our true father that every time I hear this, I read this, it really touched my heart. When he was 15 years old, he wrote this poem, Our True Father, Crown of Glory. When I doubt people, I feel pain. When I judge people, it is unbearable. When I hate people, there is no value to my existence. Yet if I believe, I am deceived. If I love, I am betrayed. Suffering and grieving tonight, my head in my hand. Am I wrong? Yes, I am wrong. Even though we are deceived, still believe. Though we are betrayed, still forgive. Love completely, even those who hate you. Wipe your tears away and welcome with a smile. Those who know nothing but deceit, and those who betray without regret. Oh, master the pain of loving. Look at my hand. Place your hand on my chest. My heart is bursting such agony. But when I love those who act against me, I brought victory. If you have done the same thing, I will give you the crown of glory. Brothers and sisters, I would like to leave you with these words. And just like the Bible earlier said, when we go back inside ourselves, we listen to our original mind, the answer is there. The answer is in our heart. So we have to listen. We have to listen beginning from inside myself and listen how God is talking to me directly, and also listen how God is talking to me indirectly through many different ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ashiel. This message you're talking about is, it's important. It's also a hard one to digest because when it comes to our relationships with people, listening is hard to do. But I think, I'm experiencing the same thing, that the more time that I take to also quiet my heart and quiet my mind and listen to those around me, the more that I can understand. And then the more my own understanding grows as a result. And I think especially right now in our generations, to our elders, we really need our elders to have the open heart to our youngers. And those of us who are in the younger generation, we also need to do what you're talking about, which is to see our elders, as God's sons and daughters, and see from Heavenly Parents' perspective, and be open-minded to each other, because that's how we grow during this time. So thank you so much, Dr. Ashiel, for modeling this. I know I experienced this with you. Talking with you is easy. Thank you for being a model in that way, and a wonderful elder figure for me as well.
Thank you.
Dr. Ashiel has prepared a reflection question for us all to consider this morning, which is, what attitude should I have in order to listen to God's voice? So really emphasizing this point of our original mind, and what can we do to really be able to hear that voice and that perspective. So let's all take a minute together to reflect on this, put on some nice music, and have a chance to really put this into practice this week. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for taking that time to reflect as a family this morning. And now I'd like to go to our closing prayer for our Sunday service. Let's invite Pastor Josue Kisile, the pastor of the Grand Rapids Family Church from Grand Rapids, Michigan, for our closing prayer.
Please join me in prayer. Dearest Heavenly Parents, true parents, thank you so much for today. Thank you for bringing us together here as a family, as a community, and thank you for speaking to us. Today's message was really heart-moving. We are reminded of the importance of listening. Listening to you, Heavenly Parents, to your voice that is speaking to us at all times through our original mind, and listening to one another. Heavenly Parents, I'm reminded this morning that the voice of our original mind is indeed your voice. And I'm coming to the realization that when we listen to one another, we are actually listening to you, Heavenly Parent. And I thank you so much that this message comes at the right time, as our nation is truly divided in opinions of what should be. And I want to pray that we can all be determined to listen to one another, no matter what our opinions may be. But let us listen to the hearts that our brothers and sisters are expressing. This morning, we are reminded about our attitude toward you and toward one another, towards your voice, toward the voice of our brothers and sisters. So, Heavenly Parent, as we start this new week, I pray that we can learn to listen to you and listen to one another, Heavenly Parent. Father, I'm learning this morning that it's only through listening that we can open the path of love in our relationship, in our families, in our interpersonal relationships, in our community, and as a nation, Heavenly Parents. I pray that we can listen. We can listen to one another, Heavenly Parents. So I pray that as we start this week, Heavenly Parents, that we can truly, truly, Heavenly Parents, overcome these struggles that we've been experiencing, and that we can listen. As we come to a conclusion of this Sunday service, I just want to pray your blessing on all your children gathered here. I pray, Heavenly Parents, that throughout this week we can truly come to experience your true love. That this week should be a week of healing. That each one of us can truly come to feel your love in our hearts and be able to share it with our brothers and sisters. I pray that whenever we hear from one another, we should hear news of your will being done in our lives, Heavenly Parents. That we should hear testimonies of breakthroughs, Heavenly Parents. We should hear testimonies of overcoming challenges in our lives. So I pray, Heavenly Parents, that your blessing can continue to dwell upon each one of us in our families, in our communities, that we can be blessed, but not for ourselves, but so we can be a blessing to all the people that we come across. We can be a blessing for our families. We can be a blessing for our communities, and that we can be a blessing for the world, Heavenly Parents. I want to offer this week. I pray that it should be a week filled with a lot of victories, with a lot of illuminations, and with a lot of peace, Heavenly Parents. And I want to offer this prayer in my name, Hebanger, member of Kisile's family, which is a blessed central family and representing all the families gathered here. Ajo.
Thank you, Pastor Josue. For our closing song today, I'd like to welcome a special performance featuring Samuel Suya and the International Leadership Training Program from the Solomon Islands. They will be performing an amazing original song, True Love by Samuel Suya.
Yeah, this is true love. As a new day dawns from the sky, I can see the beauty of creation manifest God's love for humanity and for
Wow, thank you so much, Samuel and ILTP brothers from Solomon Islands and sisters. You know, I got to hear these young brothers and sisters live in December around the rally time, and they're really spectacular. So I'm so glad we got to feature them here in National Family Service this morning. Brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Schill, for speaking to us on your birthday this morning. I hope that you can have a wonderful barbecue finally that you've been waiting for. And for those of you who are feeling touched and moved by National Family Service, I want to invite you to support this important ministry and support this amazing, hardworking team so we can continue to provide excellent experiences each Sunday and more opportunities in the future. Please type #coffee into the comments, or you can go to nationalfamilyservice.org and press the Give a Coffee button. We do need your support and appreciate all of you who are already supporting us. So thank you, brothers and sisters. Please have a blessed week. We love you. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Goodbye. Thank you.
So